kids naturally pick up everything and start doing whatever they want on that paper, right? They don't think about it, they just enjoy it, the process. The outcome is the outcome. They don't mind that. They don't stop themselves from expressing themselves and from creating and having fun. And that's something that we start letting go of as we grow up. I think we're all little artists that we just need to get in touch with them again. So yeah, I'm just lucky enough that I continue being an artist and doing it and studying it and now doing it more because I realize I don't want to leave this. Like, I don't want to stop playing like a little kid, you know?
That's a great way of looking at it. I like what you said about, when you look at kids and they're just enjoying the process. They're not too concerned about the outcome, but they're just in the moment and enjoying the process. And I think about my own kids and I watch them play, and you just sit and watch, and they're just playing. They're just creating stories after stories. And even when they're doing art, almost every second day we have to prepare stuff for them to take to school to do art. This week we have to bring egg cartons or loo rolls and all that stuff. It's nice in a sense to be able to connect with those things and have that conversation with them and ask, so what did you make today? And then it's, oh yeah, we use this to make a tower or a bridge or something. So it's nice, like you say, that we are able to reconnect with our childhood, our own inner child, and not to be, I guess, intimidated or ashamed for the fact that I'm a big kid. I'm okay with it, and that's great.
I'm a big kid.
Yeah, absolutely, that's great. I love that. I love that. Because I kind of feel like nowadays people have that stigma of, we have, when you're grown up, you have to shed that skin of, like a snake to kind of just say, okay, that was a kid. Now I have to be a grown up.
Exactly. They know what to do. We're just, because, it's a pity. It's true that what you say, that people see it as a phase, that childhood is just a phase. But if you look at it, when we go to therapy or, when we go to therapy to try to fix ourselves, the most things that we touch are our childhood. That's how important childhood is. And to neglect your child, your inner child, is like neglect your own self. Because honestly, being an adult, having so many responsibilities, bills, working, and all that, it's not that fun. If you think about it, what is fun is playing. What is fun is running around, is exploring, is being curious, is expressing, is dancing. It's all of the things you said that your kids do. I also see that with my daughter, and she's an only child, so she plays by herself not most of the time. I play with her, but not every time. So I can see her talking to her different imaginary friends all the time. And she makes the best games that I've seen. But by looking at her, I get reminded all the time of how important it is for us to play and be with our inner child all the time too. Not take things too seriously, being detached of the outcomes, because what I told you about the kids, I learned it when I was an art teacher. And I would see that they would just, I would tell them, okay, we're going to do this and that, and it would end up being something else, but they had fun and they enjoyed it and they're less happy. And some of them even broke their art pieces afterwards. And I was so surprised and also like, what? But that teach me detachment from the outcome, that the important thing was the journey, was the process, not what it ended up being. So I think kids are definitely our teachers, and if you see them, like you said, they can dance and sing and all of that, and all of that is art. Like, art is in us. We just need to express it and find the way that we like to express it. Because like you said, writing is art. I totally believe it. Because when you read a book or a poem, you get transported somewhere else. And when you make art, you're being transported somewhere else. That's the amazing thing about art. You can recreate something that is in your head or you dream or you felt, and make it in a tangible visual way that others can also get inspired or feel the same way or get identified. So yeah, I think art is a remedy. I think everybody should try it, and I think that the best gift you can give yourself is to express yourself, your true self, and not put any limits to it. Yeah.
Love what you said there about being detached from the outcome. We mentioned that just now when watching kids play, and they're detached from the outcome. For me, that is quite powerful, because nowadays, especially nowadays, I feel that people, a lot of people are attached to, especially material things, and that attachment to something physical, for me, if you look at it in the long term, material things will come and go. Things will eventually break down. They will not last forever. And I used to be like that. I used to kind of, I'm not saying, I don't value material things. I do value them, but now I'm able to detach myself from them. And that plays a role in my emotions. Whereas before, if something breaks, I get really upset and uptight and anxious. And now I kind of feel, well, it's done its job. It's time to move on. Maybe we can reappropriate it in a different way. You talked about recycling, right? Can we use it in a different way? So that's where kind of creativity for me comes in. You mentioned curiosity, and I love that. You mentioned, a few minutes ago about being curious about things. So if you try to blend those two things together, when things break, when you're mentioning about your students, they take their artwork home and then they break them. And, as a parent, you might say, why did you break your artwork? It's so beautiful. But then, as a child, you're like, wow, I want to see how else I can, maybe take the bottom and put it on the top and, start to experiment with things.
Yes, you have art in you. Always, because you can always see that the way we express ourselves, the way we present ourselves in the world, it's all art too. The way we dress up, how we do our hair, how we move when we speak, the words that we choose, that's all related to art, if you look at it. So yes, we're definitely all the artists. I believe it, and I have no doubt about it. And what you said about the kids and them being curious, that's something that we also lose when we grow up, and that's seeing all the other possibilities. Sometimes we just get stuck in one thing and we don't see the forest, when we see the super forest. And maybe I said it wrong. And so kids are not like that. They are curious, and they explore, and thank you. And so they see many possibilities, and they explore them all. So that's something else. That's something that I believe we should keep doing when we're grown up as well. Because, if we get too focused on one thing, we might miss what the lesson is there and how we can enjoy the journey to get there. And also we can get disappointed if the outcome is not what we expected. And maybe the outcome could have been different if we would have seen the other possibilities. So yes, it's all a game of realizing what you can offer, what you have inside, and what you can do for others.